What? Do you start work right away when you arrive at your home office? The Pamu Nano. Pamu's smallest earbuds are packing 6.1 millimeter graphene drivers, and that usually means pretty big bass. I mean, I'm hoping that Pamu has kept the sound signature of the previous Pamu buds that I reviewed, the Pamu Quiet Minis. But with the design of the Nanos, I think these could be great, and I think a lot more people will like them. But before we get started, click that subscribe button and notification bell. Alright, one of the first things that I noticed about the Pamu Nano's case is that it's really, I like it a lot better than the Quiet Mini's case, is that this thing is small. Like, this will fit in the fifth pocket of my jeans. I like that it's contoured here on the top of the lid so that when we close the case, it's going to keep those buds right in place and hold them against their charging ports. I also really like that it's easy to get these buds in and out of there. At least it's a little bit different from the normal earbud cases, and it does kind of look like a robot to me with this oval area and the lights that light up in there. I don't know why, it just looks like the head of a robot to me a little bit. Now, it will charge via USB-C. Let's double check here whether it'll charge via wireless. Let's turn on that wireless charging case, charging battery, and let's just see if that's going to charge. Absolutely, that's charging via wireless, which is fantastic. As advertised, it will charge via wireless. Now, these also have quick charge, so if you're charging via the USB-C cable that is included, these will charge in 10 minutes and give you an hour of playtime. When fully charged, these earbuds will last 6 hours on a charge and 21 hours using the remaining battery that's in the case. Now, you take either one or both of these buds out of the case and it's going to connect to your device. So either in mono mode if you take one out, or stereo mode if you take them both out. They've got aptX, AAC, and SBC playback. So when you're watching videos with these, you're going to have no issues with audio synchronization at all. I really wouldn't recommend these for playing first-person shooter video games, like Call of Duty Mobile, but you could use them for other less serious games. And check out my test of the audio latency. Alright, let's check out these IPX6 sweat-proof and sort of waterproof earbuds a little bit more closely. I mean, look at this crescent-shaped design. This is going to tell you exactly how to wear these. The tragus of your ear goes right in here, and then the rest of this earbud will rest right here on the lower part of your ear for stability and comfort. And they sit super flush against my head, which I think is pretty great. I mean, they have a slightly different textured area here in the touch control area, so that your fingers will know exactly where the touch control area is. And actually, the controls on here are very sensitive. They control almost everything like play, pause, voice assistant, volume, and next track, but they do omit previous track. They managed to avoid using triple tap, which I think is probably a good thing, because triple tap is definitely the hardest gesture to master, especially if you're working out or running. So I think some people will really appreciate that. Now, these are also good controls because every time you press one, you're going to get a little tone in your ear that registers single tap or double tap. It won't register the long press, but of course volume will be changing instantly, so you don't really need a tone to tell you that you're long pressing these buds. Alright, well, what else has Pamu put in the box? We already looked at that USB-C charging cable. Let's take a look at what Pamu's telling us on this card. So here they're telling us they've got 6 ear tips that come with this: small, medium, and large, and small, medium, large with the extended depth tips. So I think a lot of people are actually going to really like that, right? You get that extra deep seal if you have larger ears, and you use these regular sized ones if you don't have larger ears. And again, Pamu is suggesting that you only use these at 70% of the max volume when you listen to the music. Otherwise, you could have hearing loss. It's a pretty clear indication of being safe with your ears. Nicely, they include a pretty small, I mean, this is actually pretty small, right? You could fit this case in there, but not much else. Like, it is a small case. That isn't like super huge. You're not going to put a ton of other things in there, but it isn't too bulky either to put in your pocket or whatever, or your backpack. So I was able to easily find tips to give me a good seal. They block out a lot of sound, a lot of my surrounding noises passively. And overall, I find them to be a pretty comfortable earbud, and they also look really good because they sit very flush in your ears based on this design. Now these Nanos, they have Bluetooth 5.0. And that's going to connect to your device, like I said, when you remove them from the case, and I tested their range at about 30 feet. There's literally one microphone on each earbud, and there it is. And that's going to give you 2 microphones overall for making phone calls. And let's check out how the mics fare on the Nanos.
All right, this is a test phone call with the Pamu Nanos. I'm outside. It's really windy. The wind is at my back, and I think this is a tough condition for any microphone. So we're going to check out the Pamu Nanos and see how well that works. Look at how flush these earbuds sit against my head, which I really like as far as the design goes. And it's really obvious how to wear them in your ears because of the shape of the bud, which I think is another really nice design decision by Pamu. But man, the lows and highs sound great on them. That's a big truck that just went by. It was an 18 motor, wasn't paying that close attention, but it was a big truck. It's going to give us a really good sample of how well these mics perform in a very tough set of conditions right now, with both the wind and the cars going by in the background. And that'll do it for the test of the Pamu Nano.
All right, let me know in the comments what you think about the Pamu Nano's microphones. Okay, moving on to sound quality. The Nanos definitely impress me at this price point. They have a very strong U or V-shaped sound signature with bass that's going to catch your attention immediately, especially on songs like The Hills by The Weeknd. That first drop, it just comes in right away, and we're like, whoa man, these things pump out some serious bass for how small they are. That bass hits hard, and it rolls off really naturally for a really good experience on bass. Both male and female vocals are really strongly represented. I mean, check out Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. That drop at 53 seconds has both Amy Lee and Paul McCoy's vocals working in perfect harmony with the band. Very impressive, very impressive. Now, there are some mids that are a little bit less clear, especially when the bass gets really thumping. But overall, I think it's a good sound. And if you look at the way that the high frequencies work on these, I think it only improves things because the high frequencies continue up that V slope and they shine very brightly and very nicely on these buds. And you can really rock to these earbuds too, right? They could get these all the way up to about 99 decibels. But remember, Pamu's telling you flat out in the materials that 70% is the maximum recommended volume that you should be listening to these. I listen to them at about 50% volume, and they sound great. I mean, I didn't even bother to break out my favorite EQ app and adjust anything on these earbuds. So summing up the Nanos, Pamu's got themselves a really good fitting, great sounding earbud with some good features for under 50 bucks. I mean, if you're gonna find fault with them with anything, I would start with the Bluetooth range. It's not very strong by comparison, and if you're gonna be wearing these with, let's say, a smartwatch where they really need a more powerful Bluetooth connection, I think you'd be maybe a little bit disappointed. Fine for listening to these with a regular phone. And then the second thing would be that the microphones just seemed okay to me. Nothing special about the mic, so don't be looking to buy these to make a lot of phone calls, especially with a noisy background. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and I will see you next time. I think it looks like a molar that just popped out of my head.